Hello.
Yo, 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 what's up?
Hello.
Copy that.
Shut up and sit down.
You're my assistant, okay? You're supposed to back me up and go get me juice boxes when I tell you. Now go get me a juice box.
This is my exercise bike. It's got a lot of features that I like.
You are listening to the Dialed Podcast with Matt Legrand, Evan Price, Lance Heppler, and Jake Von During. Fun fact, one of the most important days of my life was when I learned to ride a bicycle. Enjoy episode 115.
Going faster
I'm
than
talking to the juice box guy. You're crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm just thirsty.
How pregnant?
half pregnant. It's like I'm riding in the Tour de France, but it is mine.
Why don't you go to hell? No, you go to hell. While you're there, why don't you grab me a juice box?
Just test this.
I'm no juice box boy, I'll tell you that.
Got to the top, totally on my
See you later, juice box. Everyone wave goodbye to juice box.
and then formulated into a sports drink, which I personally endorse. It's called Gorilla Gin. This is just my exercise bike.
Wow. Yes, anyway, this is my super secret special bike.
Can I ride it?
No.
All right, welcome back to the Dial Podcast. I am Jake Von During, and I'm here with Lance Heppler.
Lance Romance live in studio. I guess I'm
in
not really
studio.
live.
Live and loud.
That was an intense start. Oh my gosh. I'll bring us back down.
Thank you.
Okay, don't worry. Whew, that was intense.
To his
Very
right,
much.
Evan Price.
What's everybody drinking today?
Coffee, LaCroix, water.
I got Kirkland sparkling water lemon flavor today.
I got Polar Cranberry Lime.
Polar.
Are we sponsored by Polar
they
yet?
make, Polar makes
Or not?
heart rate monitors and drinks.
I don't think this is the same Polar. I'm not
think
sure.
it's Polar
no,
Springs.
no, I'm pretty sure it is.
Is it? That would actually
Polar-
be awesome if it
It's
is.
Polar Springs.
Polar Springs. I
Shut
don't
up,
see a
Lance.
Springs anywhere
Okay,
on here.
sorry.
Yeah, I don't see that
I
anywhere.
won't.
I see Polar 100% natural
Stop
seltzer
with the
calorie free.
Stop with your honesty.
Can
I'm
somebody
drinking
please
Hidden
comment on-
Rivers Roasters coffee.
I'm really curious now if they actually are the watch company. They'd just be two interesting things to
No.
go into: seltzer water and watches.
No.
We'll pretend they
No.
are. I'll look into that for us, Nor.
I'm just happy you're not drinking Red Bull. Thank you.
There was plenty of that on the weekends.
And on Skype today, Matt Legrand.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the interwebs? You guys are sounding good. You sound the airwaves are. I'm hearing it from either can in my headphone, and you sound good.
Excellent.
Sweet. How you doing today, Matt?
It's gonna take me a while, but I'm gonna try to slowly recover from the weekend. We're getting there.
All right, well, let's jump into some backpedaling. Why don't you just talk about that weekend, Matt?
I am recovering from a little jaunt on the cycle, on the two-wheeler, where I hit up Jake, which is kind of like our thing where 5 minutes before a ride, I'm like, hey, I'm going out for whatever. And it's usually like, hey, I'm going to go out for an easy ride. I mean, I think if we have some sort of structured workout or something like that we probably wouldn't hit each other up. But I was like, yeah, I'm going to go for a flat, hour. And I know Jake's potentially looking for flatter rides right now because his shoulder's been aggravated. He responded with, Lance and Sean and I are meeting in like right now. Or can you be ready to go right now? And I said, sure, yeah, no problem. So geared up the tricycle. I did actually take the training wheels off, and I came out there, met up with you guys. I knew immediately, like, this is going to be their easy
It
ride.
was,
I
quote,
knew that,
there pace.
There is no easy rides.
yeah, I mean,
There are no
It was easy until it wasn't.
Until it wasn't.
Honestly, we had the wind on our back. We went out, and we probably talked about this right on this podcast before, but we're doing something flat. We almost always do kind of Vancouver Lake area or maybe Marine Drive. But this, we were going out towards Vancouver Lake, which is about a 50-mile ride. And the wind, it felt like was on our back. And I mean, I felt fantastic on the way out. We were chatting, we were having fun, but it also felt like we were moving decently. And I think that was probably because the wind was on our back. Until Jake started pulling out at Vancouver Lake where it's really flat and there are no lights. And I knew going into this ride that, we get out there, there's no chance of anything going easy. I knew it was either I was going to A, get dropped, or B, hang on and throw up in my mouth for dear life, or C, all of the above.
Ooh, what's C? Yeah, sorry.
And so, that's literally, exactly how it went. And I kind of thought, well, when they start going hard, I'll just turn around and go home. I really didn't have a 50-mile ride planned for the day. Not that I had anything planned for the day, but it was so nice riding with those guys. And I just, I get to talk to you guys, but I don't get to talk to Sean that often. So it was just really fun. And I was like, I don't want to turn around. I'm going to go as long as possible. And so I think I made it 40 miles or something like that. And it was just really a really nice ride. And, I rode with those guys as soon as it got really hard. And I think I was like, we went through some turns or whatever. And I know I put out like 450 watts to get back onto the train that Jake was driving. He was not struggling because he was, pulling for 15 minutes. And I know if he was struggling, he wouldn't have pulled for 15 minutes.
Jake would pull
I was struggling.
Jake would pull for 10 minutes. Yeah. I would go to the front for 20 seconds. And then like, nope, I'm not pulling this hard. Go right to the back. Sean would go for like 2 minutes. He'd pull off, and then Jake back on for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was super. It was just so much fun that I was kind of like getting dragged to do more than I kind of intended. But I turned around early, but then they were still able to catch me. Lance, they caught me right after your house, basically.
I looked at the flyby and saw that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, which was great. And then it was hard because my legs were trash, and they were like, "Yeah, we got to go home." And of course, they're just going their normal pace. But I struggled again there. So it was really nice. I look forward to another opportunity to get my butt handed to me.
Matt, are you enjoying getting back on the road bike? Like, is that because you've had quite a few rides on the road bike the last 3 weeks?
Well, it's just so nice. Earlier this week, as I finish out my back pedal, I think I was out riding, and I do this sometime where I'll go do errands or whatever, but I was dropping something off at Jake's house, which might be at the podcast there. I don't know. I dropped something off at Jake's house, and he was like, "Hey, are you going riding?" He was like, "I need to go for a ride." And I was like, I got, a little bit more time left. It was only like, I only had like 30 more minutes left or something like that. And we rode around and just barely got it. I think I got the start of a ride with Jake in, but it was still nice to ride with someone just because, we've been doing this quarantine thing, and I haven't been able to ride with anyone at all. And then the sun's been out. And so it's just been really nice to get out and do some stuff. So.
Very, very cool. I like that. Yeah, it's I think after years, because you were primarily riding your tri-bike for the most part when you were consistently riding outside, right?
I rode my tri-bike more than most people, maybe. Depends. Some people just have a tri-bike.
Yeah.
But it would depend. Like if I want to just do like hills around my house, I would use the road bike primarily. Mm-hmm. But any sort of ride like what we did yesterday, which was just straight flat stuff, I would prefer the TT bike. I like to have a lot of miles in the bike that I'm going to race on. I really think that's something, Evan, that you should consider, is just making sure that you have enough time in that TT bike. Because I know you're riding a lot, but you're not spending time on the trainer, which is good. But I think it's good to kind of just have some quality time on the bike that you're going to race on. Of course, there's no race on your schedule, is there, Evan?
Yeah, that's true. I would be doing a once a week ride on it if we weren't in the current situation. I'm trying to make sure that bike lasts a while now, so it's going to stay dormant for probably another month or two. But yeah, I just also I genuinely really enjoy riding a road bike. So for me, it's like if I'm going out on a ride, it's hard for me not to reach for the road bike.
Yeah, what you enjoy. And I was actually very comfortable on that Trek Speed concept until I wasn't comfortable on it. But in fact, the ride that Jake and I did a couple of years ago, Seattle to Portland, it was 200 plus miles, and I was like, yeah, I should ride my road bike. But on the other hand, I was like, I'm more comfortable on the TT bike. You have more spots to just kind of like move between and rest your arms.
Yeah.
And it's a flat course. And I was like, I'm going to ride the TT bike. And for a long time, until our training camp 2 years ago or whatever it was, a year and a half ago, I had never done a century ride on a road bike. I had only done 100-mile plus rides on a TT bike. So at training camp, we did a 100-miler, lots of climbing, crazy ride. And I did that on a road bike, but that was the first time. So it took a while, but I eventually got there.
There you go.
I got to say, this ride we did yesterday, which was just fantastic. It was great to be able to ride with you, Matt, because we haven't ridden together in a long time.
Yeah, since before my shoulder.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was kind of funny. Once we hit Vancouver Lake area, I don't know what got into Jake's bonnet, but, his power meter wasn't working, so he's purely going off heart rate. And so he was like, "Oh, I'm going to hold this at 26 miles an hour and see. Oh, my heart rate looks okay. Okay, well, let's push it up to 27 miles.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, well, let's push it up to 28." And the rest of us are just kind of hanging on. The funny story, there's a segment out there. There's a 16-mile segment that starts at the last light, goes all the way to the end of the road, and all the way back.
All the way past the rumble strips, then all the way back?
Yeah. Not past the rumble strips.
No,
you go left to
the other way.
Oh,
the other way
left towards
Frenchman's Bar.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say that'd only be 8 miles.
Goes out to the gate.
Then. Yeah.
It's an out and back.
So it's 16 miles. And me and Jake and Sean, we're all just kind of sitting on Jake's wheel for the most part.
Trying to survive.
But we're going pretty hard, you know? And we rode out there pretty fast at like 26 miles an hour average, you know? And on the way back, we thought there'd be a big headwind, but it really wasn't that much of a headwind. So we pushed it all the way back.
Yep.
But we kind of backed off just a little bit.
Yeah, there's plenty of meat on the bone there still.
And and at the very end, we just missed this 38-minute segment. We missed the KOM by 6 seconds.
You guys missed that KOM by 6 seconds.
The three of us all
Lance,
missed
your
it.
job is to be on it with that. You are the one who's supposed to be watching the segment.
Guess who holds that KOM?
Jake.
Mr. Matt LeGrand.
Yep.
Oh,
Matt.
I didn't even know that.
Yes.
Matt's nice.
We just missed Matt.
As you guys are talking about this, I'm like pulling it up right now.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
what day was that, Matt? Was that the day that we went out there for the day when everybody was flatting and there was a massive group? Because Matt was in that group all the way to the end.
This was like in 2017.
This is probably me.
This was like 3 years ago.
Arizona year?
I flatted, though, on that ride.
Arizona year, Matt?
I think it was the Arizona year. It was 2017, Matt, if I'm correct. If you look at the leaderboard on that.
Yeah, 2017, I was definitely gearing up for. It's June of 2017. This is the ride where I had people throwing drinks at me. 2 different cars threw 2 different drinks at me while I was like changing flats because I had the Vittoria Corsa Speed.
Oh God!
Now hold on. What's that? The flat didn't happen during you riding that segment, obviously, did it?
I don't know.
It couldn't have because that's going to be several minutes.
We average like 25 miles an hour. So.
Yeah.
I know Matt's fast, but
let me see.
Was that a solo?
We can probably
too?
watch the flyby of that particular ride and see if I stop. I can't imagine. Maybe I did it twice. Maybe I did that segment twice.
Sure.
That sounds possible. Let me actually look and see what I did. No, I only did 24 miles.
What the
I don't know.
If he stopped and we still got the
Well,
KOM.
that's full TT setup also, because I'm sure I was testing stuff. I was testing these Vittoria tires that
It's going to take you 5 minutes to change a flat, though. I mean, come on
now.
now.
Yeah, and I remember these tires were impossible to get on and off, so there's no way that. Let me watch the flyby thing.
Cool.
Yeah,
it was just awesome. It was awesome that we got towards the end, and I tried to ramp it up at the end because I knew there'd probably be an out and back segment, but I didn't know that Matt had it, and then we just missed it. So
I didn't even realize that we were chasing a segment. I was just riding just like you were. I think Sean might have known in the back of his head that there was something there, but I don't think he was tracking it live.
No, none of us were tracking it live.
But he was definitely putting in a bit of an effort when he was taking his pulse. So,
Matt, this is the scary thing about this podcast now is if your KOM gets exposed, now everybody listening is going to go after this KOM. So
it's low hanging fruit.
Oh, it's not even everybody. It's not even everybody listening. It's the guy across the table from me.
I remember. Okay, I'm starting to remember this ride, and I do remember thinking about trying to go for this KOM, and I think the flats happened right. So what I did was I parked at the lake, rode to the start of the KOM, basically did a loop, and then did the segment hard. But then as I came back to my car, right, you have to come
right
back.
Yep.
There's a flat. I'm actually watching the flyby, and then another flat or something like that somewhere, like 2 flats somewhere close. But yeah, so I had obviously not stopped with a flat during the actual KOM attempt. And I had aero gear on and probably the wind was blowing both directions. Who knows? But
No, Matt, give yourself credit. You were fit there, but
Slip
now
Mother Nature 20.
I know what my next ride is on the time machine going to be. So
there you go. Well, we should do this ride. I mean, it is a perfect place for us to do some kind of like testing. Remember, I sent you a text, but you didn't respond.
How about
I wanted to do
this?
some testing.
anything you want to test, I would definitely build up the time machine again and go out there and test it with you.
I want
you
to
boys,
do some
you two,
aerodynamic testing.
you
so
two go get
very
yourself
excited
one
about
more.
future videos.
Go get yourself one more triathlete, or you can just keep it to the two of you. You guys can go out and ride it in tandem. I'll go out with Lance. We'll ride it in tandem. You guys can go.
There
You
we
can
go.
go
we
full
can do
TT
that.
regalia.
We can do that. I'm
We'll
all
go
for
road
this.
Throw
bike
down.
and see
I'm
how
all
it
for
goes.
this. I'm all for that.
Is this a road ride or versus triathletes
That's right.
kind of situation?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that
that'd
going
be
on
fun.
around here
That'd
right
be
now.
fun. There is. I feel like I indirectly sparked a little bit of hate towards triathletes, so I want to.
Well, how about this? Let's let Evan have his back pedal real quick, and he can talk about maybe an email he got over the weekend.
It'll be a short one. My entire back pedal can be summed up to my Friday evening, basically. But so Saturday, Sunday, rode the trainer a bunch. Nobody cares. So Friday.
How far did you do anything stupid like 100-miler?
Yeah, so the combined distance
Yes,
between the
though.
2 days was 200. So I did like 115 one day and 85 the other day or something like that. So
In the middle of your back pedal, Evan, can I just give a shout out to JP who did with right next to each other. He did a 38-miler and a 62-miler. Obviously, he did a 100-mile ride, but his Zwift crashed in the middle, and so it was ended up being two separate rides.
that's
wow.
I'm so glad
Still.
to see JP like
I think
Bold
you
move,
riding on-
bold move, JP.
can
Bold
stitch
move.
those
indoor.
together. You can still stitch those
I
together.
count it, JP.
Yeah.
That's a
Anyway.
Zwift century.
Oh yeah,
Congratulations,
It's definitely
JP.
a
I
Zwift
love it.
century.
Absolutely love it.
So back to your story.
Anyway, so yeah, and also I love that picture, Matt, of you and JP crossing the Boston. What was that? The finish line at Boston?
No, it's just some random.
Oh,
spot.
just some random spot. Anybody look at Matt's Facebook there? If you want to get an appreciation for how similar these two look,
At first glance, you have
they're
no
the same
freaking
person.
idea.
They're
It's
the
just-
same
yeah,
person.
they're brothers, yeah.
Yeah,
Twin
literally,
brothers.
they are twins. Yeah, it's incredible. But
We actually used to have we'd go so JP lived in Canvas for a little while, and people would like come up to him and have conversations with him thinking he was me.
that is awesome.
And then so one Christmas I made him this shirt that says it said something like I'm not Matt, and this conversation is awkward. And like he was wearing it. And he was wearing it at the swim club, which is and Cindy Hine came up to him and started talking to him thinking it was me. He was wearing the shirt.
That said, I'm not
is-
Matt.
And he was just like, he just pointed to the shirt,
is awesome.
and she I think got embarrassed or whatever. But fantastic.
Poor Sydney.
Oh, so that's hilarious. That's an awesome story. Yeah, JP's awesome though. But yeah, so Saturday, Sunday, yeah, spent plenty of time on Zwift. I was actually productive. It was one of those Zwift rides both days where like I did like a bunch of meeting calls with people I needed to catch up with, answered emails, got stuff done, did a little bit of research myself too on some stuff I've been wanting to research. Like actually, they were both
Get
just
some stuff done.
yeah, I was like trying to get stuff done. And so Friday, I've been doing my Zwift race on Friday, and even though the weather was nice, I knew Tonk was out on a super long rack ride. I was gonna catch up with him, and I was like, nah, I'm just gonna do my Friday Zwift race. So I go into this race, finish the race, and feel awesome for like minute and 30 seconds after that. Hit a big 20-minute PR, highest like watts per kilo numbers I've seen. I'm like, my fitness is really coming together. Turn around, and I knew that Tonk was going to be dropping by to get an espresso. Me and Cassie told him, we'll give you a mid-ride espresso and a snack. So I am.
But you have an espresso maker at Cassie's house?
We do, yeah.
All right, I'll be right over.
They're right. Yeah. If anybody who ever wants to use our house as like a mid-stop on the rack route, it's an awesome area for that. It really is. And we'll probably give you a Detaza snack too, which is what Tonk got, and it was awesome. But so I have my like blood pressure is still coming down after this test. And the garage door comes up, and it's Lance and Tonk. And I'm like, oh, that is awesome. They probably linked up, and I'm sure they went on a nice casual rack ride together, and we're going to talk about it. Step off the bike, feeling a little bit lightheaded still, walk over, and get informed. I had not looked at my phone yet or anything. Nothing had been uploaded yet. And in the middle of his rack ride, Tonk had decided he was going to take the Larch KOM again. And I almost want to leave the whole story up to Lance's back pedal here. This is why my back pedal is not important. The back pedal that is important here is Lance's back pedal. where I only got to hold on to this KOM for not even one full podcast.
You talked about it so much last week.
I know.
All proud of himself.
Look at me, pat myself on the back.
As the kids would say,
6
I
days.
think I was, how would they phrase this? Asking for the smoke or something, or you don't want the smoke or something. I wanted it, I got it, and now I'm in third place. So I deserved that. I did. But there will be more attempts at this. There absolutely will be. So I will end my back pedal at that, and we'll segue into the old man Lance's 50th.
It was the week of KOMs. That's for sure for the people sitting at this table, because we don't have any racing.
No.
And with no racing,
I hope everybody's okay with this. And if you're not, you'll probably need to stop listening to us, because this is all we're going to be talking about.
we were all chasing KOMs this week. So yeah, this Friday ride, Tonk and I decided we were going to do this century together. We were going to ride the rack ride in North Clark County in Vancouver, Washington. And so he left his house in Portland. I left my house in Vancouver. And we kind of converged on this one intersection to meet. Just as we met, we ended up running into our other teammate, Mike Guyvan.
The odds of this are just terrifying to me.
This is the same Mike that Evan had just stole the KOM from
on his birthday.
On his birthday, yeah.
So Mike
completely
had
by accident, not
Mike
on purpose.
he had the KOM up Larch Mountain for a year. He held it for almost a year.
It was a year on the dot. It was the day of.
Evan stole it from him. We run into. So we're about ready to start this big, long ride. We run into Mike, and we're like, Mike, what are you doing? He's like, I'm going back to get my KOM.
He's got blood in his eyes.
Dude, he was...
How intense was Mike?
He was fired up.
Oh, God.
He, didn't sleep well. He had, prepped food for it. He was wearing a speed suit.
I woke up a monster.
So he was like, I'm going back to get my KOM. And me and Tonk immediately were like, oh, forget our plans. We're going to come help you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
We're like, what? All three of us? Mike, you're going for it? Oh, we're in. We completely scrapped our ride plans, and we're like, okay, we're just going to go to the Larch, and we will just go for it.
I should not have made this a triathletes versus. I've even had messages from triathletes saying, how can I help you get this back? I was like, I don't know, because the cyclists coming together terrifies me. So.
And the funny thing is, this was on a Friday. On Thursday, Tonk had gone out to do it himself. He was going to take the KOM by
he didn't
himself.
tell me that. Okay.
And he was driving over, had his bike in the car and everything, was driving over from Portland to go do this.
Yeah.
And a huge thunderstorm hit, and
Thursday was bad weather.
He just scrapped it.
Yep.
So then all of a sudden, here's Mike. Oh, here's Lance.
Here's the chance.
There's three of us. Oh, we're going for it.
Mike was jacked up on caffeine too, wasn't he?
Yes.
He was.
So we made a plan on the ride over to the. So it's a roughly 6 mile segment.
5.4.
Okay.
5.48.
Yeah, thank you. It's a 5.5 mile segment. Evan did it in roughly 24 and a half minutes.
24:53.
Yeah,
okay,
24:53.
So roughly 25 minutes. So this is a 25-minute effort. This is a long effort. Lots of climbing.
It is a hard segment.
And there's lots of steep sections, and then about 3 miles into it, there is one flat to rolling section. Mm-hmm. So you do all this climbing
for about a mile.
You hit
roughly
about a mile of flat rolling section, and then there's another mile of climbing.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not have the FTP of Tonk or Mike or Evan. I knew I could not hang with these guys up the climb at all. So we made the plan.
And of course, the first section is incredibly steep, which would be the area Lance has to get dropped
I would
on
be
anyway.
dropped immediately. So we're like, okay, Tonk, you're going to pace Mike up the steep section. I took a 10-minute head start and rode to the flat section. I rode all the way up by myself to the flat section, and then I had 3 minutes to wait, so I totally recovered.
Uh-huh.
So the plan was Tonk was going to pace Mike up the steep section. They'll hit the flat section. I would drill it. They would both sit on my wheel. They would get a 90-second, a 2-minute rest while we hammered through this.
Yep.
This
now
section.
Didn't Guyvan Mike drop Tonk in the beginning steep section, didn't he, for a second? And then Tonk brought him back?
No, what happened was Tonk was pacing Mike up, and Tonk dropped his chain.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, this was a drop chain.
He dropped his chain, so we had to pull over and stop. But it's mid-segment. We're going for it.
Yeah.
So Mike just left him.
Yep.
And when they got to me, Tonk was only about 5 or 8 seconds behind Mike. He was not far behind.
Yeah.
But he gapped him.
Yep.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm sticking to the plan. Mike crests over the top of the hill and I like rolled up next to him, and then I drilled it. We did 30 miles an hour.
Oh my god!
on this flat rolling section.
I lost some time there.
With Mike just sitting right on my wheel, and he was, I was pushing like 450, and Mike was pushing like 280.
At least around there.
But he was like, okay, he got this like full-on 2-minute break. The road turns uphill. I completely peeled off because I was ripped.
Sprinter style
Mike's
peel
like, thanks, bud, and takes off.
Yeah.
Literally, like 10 seconds later, Tonk was right
just
there.
Just gunning it, right.
But Tonk rode him down.
And then put like 20 seconds into him, didn't he?
Caught him and then put 20 seconds. So Tonk dropped his chain, didn't get the draft that I gave Mike.
Yeah.
And then still caught Mike and put 20 seconds into him. So
that's that's I mean, as much as from a basis of the fact that if you look at Mike Guyvan's training, for one, the guy has an incredibly busy job. He's at times working like 6-7 days a week.
Yep.
Family, only able to get on the bike
like 5-year-old and a 1-year-old or something.
Really,
like that.
only able to get on the bike 7-8 hours a week. Anybody who has ridden with this guy knows he has P1-2 level of power easily within those fields. And the guy is climbing with, me and Tonk get to be on the bike like 13 to 15 hours a week always, and me lately over that not running. This guy's power, this guy's capacity to suffer is pretty incredible. Like that effort was well deserved. I think he put 1 minute and 10 seconds into me or something still. Yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was just so much fun to be able to help it. It was like racing for us because we don't have
That's
any
all we got
racing.
right now. This is all we got.
It was so much fun to be able to go out and do that.
I was actually happy to hear and then see the results of it because now I was joking with Tonk. I was like, this is the only thing keeping me turning over right now is stuff like this. It's training for the sake of fitness is always good, but God, you got to have some competitive outlet. You really do. And this is going to become it for a while. So, yeah. Hope everybody's enjoying hearing this because there's going to be more. So.
It was fun to tackle that and do that. And then we rode to 50 more miles after that, just kind of chill pace after that.
I guess what, 120 mile day or 110 mile day?
No, Tonk did. I think me and Guyvan rode 80 that day or something like that.
Yeah.
So
I just love the grit of Jesse Tonkinson. That is just
That's
nuts.
incredible.
And not for nothing. I know that there was a lot of assistance going on here. Lance, literally, he helped Guyvan probably shave off, what do you think, 15, 20 seconds
probably
maybe?
15 seconds.
Yeah, between the time savings on that flat session
and
the rest that you get to use for the next climb. That's a big difference. And then for Tonk
didn't get
to drop his chain and fall out of that whole pace line, and then to come back and cover that gap and then put 20 seconds into him, my hat goes off to him.
Yeah.
It's a monster
superb effort.
That's an absolute monster effort.
And shout out to Tonk as well. He was accepted to the University of Washington Medical School also this week.
Yep.
He just found out this week, and so it was an exciting week for him for sure.
Everybody watch your KOMs in Spokane. Really. You got the fittest climber in Vancouver is coming to Spokane. So
it was a ton of fun. So that was just, here we are. What are we 30 minutes into this, and we've only told a couple of stories about KOM chasing because there's a bunch more stories from this week.
Yeah. Well, Evan, are you done with your back pedal?
Oh, my back pedal was just going into Lance. That was it. My back pedal was worthless compared to that. It was an awesome. That was the coolest part of the week for me was seeing that happen, and now me getting to look at my next month and be like, where do I put in this massive effort I got to put out over 20-some minutes?
You got to wonder, too, how much of this is going on across the country right now because there's no bike racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
Our
what we
lead out
heard about
news.
Lionel
Our lead out
Sanders
news,
and
yeah.
Phil Guyman.
Yeah,
and
we'll get into that in
Sam
just a
Long,
minute. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's happening everywhere.
Vegan
This stuff
cyclists,
is-
we're talking about that too. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'm just glad that in the face of everything going on, because I think there are a lot of sports that are suffering right now. Basketball, football, baseball, for any content, for anything.
Yeah.
You can see that by ESPN posted up a horse contest of NBA athletes. That was the most embarrassingly stupid thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It was embarrassing. For the NBA, they should be absolutely embarrassed that even saw the light of day. And I love how cycling has taken this, and they're like, hey, we're going to go online racing. We're going to go real-world virtual racing. We're still going to respect all of this social distancing, but we're still going to get our competitive outlet and make it fun. This has been awesome to watch. Like, it really has been. And if this is what we have this summer, hey, it's absolutely better than nothing. And I'm proud of everybody who's still maintaining fitness and saying, like, just because there's not races doesn't mean that I can't find a way to be competitive. So, yeah.
Crazy.
It's awesome.
Lance, you want to finish your back pedal?
Well, how much time do we have? Because I got some more stories.
Lance is old now, too. So, yeah.
Okay, so here was the other thing. It was my birthday this last week. I turned the big 50.
It's a big birthday.
It's a big birthday. That day was just a blast for me. We had a great time. My wife kind of went. We were supposed to be traveling. That's beside the point. But I think she felt really bad that wasn't happening, and she set up all these amazing things that happened. Payson McKelvin, the Adventure Stash podcast, he called me personally.
Seriously?
He called me. Yeah, called me and had like a 10-minute conversation with me. My wife set that up somehow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jeez, that is cool.
How'd she do that?
She contacted him, I think, through Instagram.
Do we need to hire Brandy to be our producer?
Yeah, well, she can just convince people to do things.
She needs to be our producer. Brandy?
Yeah,
So,
seriously.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. He called me. Chris Burkhardt, I don't know if you know who that is. He is a world-class outdoor photographer and an endurance cyclist. He's done a bunch of gravel rides and gravel races and a bunch of stuff. He sent me a big video message.
Yeah.
Yuri Hosvold, the former winner of he also sent me a personal message.
That's really cool.
Yeah, Sarah Max, who's like a professional gravel racer here in the Bend area, she sent me a personal. Anyway.
She thank you for running her over again.
It's funny. She sent me this video message and it said, Lance, I really miss racing right now, but what I miss even more than that is drafting off your big, strong glutes. That's what she said. And then she was out riding with her two daughters who were seniors in high school, and they all sang me happy birthday. Anyway,
That's cool.
That's awesome.
It was all this really cool stuff that my wife did for my birthday because we're all cooped up.
Corona 50. Whew, that's
Right.
You made the best of it, though. That's for sure.
That was cool. And so for my birthday, I wanted to go ride 50 miles. I had ridden 49.99 miles the day before just to irritate Evan.
Exactly.
And
I thought that was perfect. I thought that 49.99.
And so we rode 50 miles on my 50th birthday. I went out with Jake and Evan. The three of us went for a ride. The point of the ride was there was a 6.5 mile segment owned by a triathlete that I wanted, which kind of starts near my house.
Which was perfect where you guys dropped me because it really personifies the main primary difference between cyclists and triathletes.
So it was like a 6.5 mile segment. I knew we could do it pretty fast, especially with the three of us.
Yeah.
There was like a crosswind that day, so there was no tailwind, no headwind. It was like a crosswind. In the middle of that segment, there is some tricky turns.
It's a pretty tricky downhill. That's not an easy area.
A couple of tight turns and a downhill with some tight turns.
You called them tricky. I called them fun.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I crawled down them. Yeah.
Basically, on this 6.5 mile segment, we got it by several minutes.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
But there was also collateral 4 other segments we also got.
Yeah.
One that was also owned by Jesse Tonkinson.
Take that, Tonk.
We took
Take that
from Tonk as
You're not
well.
getting that back for a while.
But those, I mean, yes, I got a bunch of those KOMs, but they were purely gifts from Jake.
Oh, it was Jake's engine. Yeah. I was just happy to be on the podium of most of those.
Jake, I basically sat on Jake's wheel for most of that. As soon as we hit the technical turns and the downhill, we lost Evan. He couldn't.
I still gave my all there, but especially when we hit the path, I was like, "Oh crap! This part goes on the path." I did not realize that was the direction we were going to be headed.
Right. So
lost some serious time there.
And we actually hit a stoplight that Jake and I had to stop for, and a semi truck pulled out in front of us at one point, but we still ended up getting him. So that was a great day. My birthday was a fantastic, great day.
Yeah.
So.
Beautiful ride too.
Yeah,
I love that ride. That's the
the
second time I've done
nice.
that with you.
Yeah.
In like the last couple weeks even.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be doing that even more often. So there's
just so many good roads
fun.
out there.
It's a good training route too, because if you need to build some intervals in or some just really punchy climbs that are short, like 15, 20 seconds, if that, that's a great ride to go on because they come in a nice, steady, consistent pace, and you can really kind of do.
It's a perfect structured beginning. You can have long 10-15 minute segments of like tempo work, and then you're right at the end when you're fatigued, build that strength capacity for the end of races, because that entire area through Battleground, good God, just up down
lots
up,
of rollers.
down. Yeah.
Lots of rollers.
I think I hit 1,200 watts
After
a couple
flying.
times on some of those, so that's a nice little workout.
I did not.
So the day after my birthday, to thank my wife, she wanted to go for a ride, and so I led her on some KOMs as well.
Returning the favor?
Returned the favor to my wife. She was super thrilled for that. So it was the week of chasing KOMs. That's all we did all week.
I know.
Almost every ride.
I'm having fun with it. I say we keep it going. And the weather is actually looking pretty. Well, now that I say it's going to be
on Friday,
it's going to get warm. Yeah,
83 degrees.
Yeah.
I know. I saw that.
We got some good weather coming. So
Evan, blow off work and let's go swim.
Matt, I was going to definitely invite you to swim too, and I know you had messaged me about Lake Road as well. Me and Tong have a couple plans potentially for Friday.
What?
So
Lake Road, what?
Oh, nothing.
Lake Road,
nothing,
what?
Jake. Nothing, Jake. But yeah, Matt,
Tri-dorks unite.
I think this weekend, Matt, we should definitely open water swim together.
I think okay.
Lance, you ready for some Lake Road action?
I'm game.
I don't even care if it's me, just as long as we keep it in the cycling family.
I'm game.
I'll jump into my back pedal real quick. You guys have already covered most of the stories. All good stuff. I had another 10-hour week, which was good. So I think the last, 6 of the last 7 weeks have been 10-plus hour weeks for me. So that's good. That's when I started to hit my form, and I'm feeling it. My legs are feeling good. My shoulder felt like absolute crap the last 2 days, but that's just a testament to riding outside as much as I possibly can. But like I said, the doctor said it's not going to make anything worse. It's just I have to grin and bear it. So I'm trying to ride outside as much as I can. So this past week, I had 6 rides, and 5 of them were outside. And only one of them was out on the trainer because my shoulder just wasn't feeling. I was going to go out and do a gravel ride, and it was actually rainy that day. So when it's kind of rainy out, it's fun to ride the gravel bike.
Yes.
But my shoulder just wasn't up for it. It wasn't having it. So 10 hours, 5 rides outside. And here's a kicker. This hasn't happened in a long time. 30% of my ride hours were with Matt LeGrand.
30%.
30%. Yeah.
That's a
30%
third
of the time.
Every
30%
time.
of the time, every time.
Exactly.
30% of the time, all the time.
Yeah, Matt and I did a nice little, just like an evening cruise ride. It was sometime during the week, maybe like Thursday or something like that. And that was just so enjoyable. It was just out, just shooting the breeze. And it was just like the perfect temperature. I miss those. Those are fun.
Yeah.
So, yep, that was my week. Lots of pulling you guys around the world.
I was going to say, it was mostly
around a lot.
just being on Jake's wheel this week.
Yeah, it was fun. All right, let's kick this thing into the next gear because we've been chatting about ourselves for 38 minutes now.
Oh, that's a new record.
Or maybe a little bit less than that, but
just a bunch of sociopaths here.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? Got another Patreon.
Yes.
Yeah. Our latest and greatest Patreon is Dove Eric.
Yes.
I believe, Evan, you know Dove.
Absolutely, I know Dove. Dove is a long time triathlete friend of mine and also my family. My mother and her were very good friends for years going through as my mom was working up towards her Ironman, and Dove was there with the old bike shop I used to work at, Go Fast Multisport.
Still hails from Ohio?
Yes,
right.
from Ohio, yep, and southwestern Ohio. And yeah, I even last season when I went to Traverse City for a pro race there, Dove was racing that race as well. So yeah, it's been long time. Good friend. Her daughter's awesome. Her daughter is a rower with the Dayton Boat Club, I believe is the name of the team. And yeah, she's just an awesome triathlete, awesome family too altogether. So
cool. Thanks, Dove. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
All of us do. And I wanted to also say to all of our patrons, Chris Eric, Chris Hitchcock, the Wick family, Laura Anderson, Scott Troutman, Mark Radford, and Dove, our stickers are arriving tomorrow.
Excellent.
And you should be expecting something in the mail. If for some reason I don't have an address for you, I will reach out. So look for us to contact you some way, shape, or form to get your address so that we can shoot you some stickers in the mail, some Tao
I'm going to sneak
stickers.
some triathlon stickers in there as well.
Hey,
for
look
those
at that,
people.
up in the air.
And
Yeah.
then Laura Anderson, I think she won a pair of goggles.
Oh,
from
really?
One of my little video.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
videos.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, we'll have to package all of that up.
Which
so.
video,
She's gonna
Matt?
have
Was
a nice little package.
It's a nice care package, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Lead out news. Is Champ Bailey around?
Champ Bailey.
There is some lead out news this time too.
Champ Bailey's here.
I got 3 things to talk about. Champ Bailey. None of it racing. Because there
Not a
is no
single
racing.
race.
Make it quick because we're running behind. Go.
First thing, today is May the 4th. It is Star Wars Day. It is.
You know what else it is today?
Sean
Martin's
Martin's
birthday. Yes.
Yes,
I didn't
that
know
was
born
one
on
of the
May
3
the 4th.
things.
Nice.
Is Sean a Star Wars fan?
Yeah.
He has to be, yeah.
Has to. Yeah, he's got to be. He was born on May 4th.
Well, you know what? The day that this comes out, you know what day that is? May the 6th. But you know what day is for Sean? He and his wife, Gypsy, will be celebrating their 20th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 days after his birthday. That's
2 days
convenient.
after his
Keep
birthday.
it close. Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Happy birthday, Sean.
Yes.
The next thing, today also, Spain and Italy finally opened up for outdoor riding. So all those cyclists and pros that have been holed up in Spain and Italy can start to ride outdoors alone today. So that was kind of a big deal. The other third thing is that Lionel Sanders, the stinking triathlete, ended up taking back the KOM on Strava on Mount Lemon.
He took it from another triathlete, though. So the triathletes have been like going back and forth. Where's the cycling world? Where are they? I mean, Phil Guyman, where are you, Phil? Come on.
Phil is in L.A.
I think what it
So
is
he's not traveling to Tucson to
Go
do
by
it,
himself.
take a KOM.
I think we're just finding out that triathletes are just better. I think is what we're seeing now.
I'm gonna move on from that comment before I punch somebody. So
I had to get that one in. Well, also there are some other big names on that list that I wonder if we'll ever go back and try. Like Mike Woods is on there too.
Yeah.
There's some guys.
Well,
yeah.
Phil Guyman actually is planning to go back once that the country is opened back up and he can go back or he can travel over there. But right now he's training for something else.
He is, yes.
And which is an interesting thing. Him and his training partner, I think his name is Ben Foster. They are training to break the record for Everesting, the time record
Right.
for
Oh, wow.
Everesting.
Ouch.
So their plan is to, I don't even know what the record is, but they're gonna
Something
ride
ridiculous.
29,029 feet in one ride on one climb, doing it as many times up and down until they hit that 29,000 feet.
What climb are they doing in LA?
I
Do you know?
don't know.
I was gonna look that up.
I don't think he's said yet.
He hasn't announced it. Okay.
No, but that's what he's been training for this last month. Is they're gonna pick a climb and try to break the time record for completing 29,000 feet. Oh, yeah.
Phil will be in pretty darn good shape to go back to Mount Lemon. I still don't think he'll get it back from. I think that what Lionel just put down, I don't think is going to get touched for a while unless you have some like Tour de France riders that want to come out here and really give it a shot.
Phil Guyman is one of the strongest climbers in the world.
He is.
Regardless of.
He is.
So,
But that climb is not steep. That thing is like a 300-400% grind for most of that climb.
well,
yeah.
we'll talk when
We'll
Phil
see.
goes back
We'll see.
out there.
I cannot wait for first off, if Phil breaks the Everest, I may have to swallow my words right there because that's pretty impressive. But I'll still put my money on Lionel. Lionel's effort was unreal.
Yeah, crazy.
Nuts.
That's laid out news. There you
Champ
go.
Bailey out.
Evan, do you have any little stuff that you need to throw in there?
From online, I didn't even keep track of online racing really this last week.
Okay,
it's kind of
good.
I kind of got too invested in all of the KOMs lately to pay attention. But don't worry, for all of my fans that are really, really invested in this online racing, I'll make sure I have an update for next week.
All right. Awesome. Topic for today. You guys ready? The hot seats.
Yeah, back to the hot seat.
Hot seat's back. But guess what? Lance doesn't know this. We got a little twist for you.
Uh-oh.
It's the Lance Heppler hot seat.
The Lance-isode.
The Lance-isode. Happy birthday again, Lance.
Wait a second.
Did we vote on Lance-isode? Because Lance-isode sounds terrible. I think it needs to be the Hepisode.
The Sully-sode.
The Sully-sode.
Yes.
Winner, chicken dinner right there.
Sully-sode, yes, thank you.
So Lance had a birthday, and this is kind of turning into a little bit of a thing. We got Matt last time, so Lance, it's your turn. We're going to sit around. We've all got questions for you, so you can just scrap all your questions or save them for
I
next.
had a couple of great questions.
Save them for next month.
Right.
Yeah, nobody wants your questions.
So hot seat style. I'm going to start with Matt, coming at you over Skype.
All right.
Go.
So, quick question. This is not your real question. Are your questions like relevant to specific time stuff now, or can they be saved for later?
My first question was, is it cool to use teammates to pace up KOMs? And my answer was, yes, we can move on.
That's a good question.
Lance has spoken.
Only if it is to beat a triathlete, yes, move on.
Lance, I have about 3 questions for you.
All right.
But I'd like to know if you would like most embarrassing stuff first or least embarrassing stuff first, and work our way up.
I'm kind of an open book, so it's up to you, Matt. Whatever.
Okay, I'm going to go with least embarrassing first.
There you go.
What would your goals be if cyclocross is canceled this fall?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I like that.
Oh, my first goal would be not get fat.
That's also a goal of mine. Yes.
Goal 1.
That's a good question. If cyclocross does get canceled, and there's a chance that could happen, or we have a completely different calendar than what we were expecting, I would expect the calendar is going to be different regardless. I think that I would probably try to focus on next year's road season, because we will have a road season next year.
We hope.
And kind of be prepped for that so that I could have a solid road season, then take a mid-season break, and then prep again for the cyclocross season. Does that answer that?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like what we're all having to do now, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome, Evan.
I got
go.
one. What is the most uncomfortable part of your day related to the mustache at this time? What is? We're always talking about the pros of the mustache. What are the cons throughout the day?
Okay, take a good look at this mustache. Is it?
That's one con. Okay, go.
Okay.
Next one.
Do you notice how that it is styled?
Yes.
Okay? Because
does it tickle your cheeks?
It does not anymore.
Okay, it's close.
But I cannot style it this way without wax and a
comb. Please tell me you use a comb.
Hair dryer.
Oh wow! Kind of like mold it. Like
you have to like melt the hair is like strong enough that like hair gel like doesn't work.
It just does not.
No, it doesn't
can't
work.
handle it.
You have to use like wax, and you have to like melt the wax enough so that it gets in and gets styled. Because it's
how long? How long does that take?
Well,
ballpark. Give us an idea.
It takes like 5 or 6 minutes just to do the dumb.
Okay,
ladies and
mustache.
gentlemen,
3 hours.
Blow dries his mustache.
I blow dried the mustache. My hair, I take like 20 seconds on. The mustache took 5 minutes to make it look this pretty. So yeah, that's kind of the.
So you're spending over 30 minutes a week just styling a mustache.
Just styling the mustache.
And do you regret a single second of that?
I don't.
Absolutely not.
It's so bad. It is so bad. I just can't help but laugh at it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask a compound question to that.
Okay, good. Yeah, 1B to that.
How long will you let it get? I mean, are you going to just increase the curl size and then maybe even see how much you can get it to curl, or is there like a goal here?
I have no goals and no plans. I did not think it would get this long, or that I would let it get this long.
The mustache is like really symbolic of the cycling season right now. You're like, I had no idea,
I have no idea.
This many cancellations were going to happen. I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
I want nothing more than to see like me in a cyclocross race covered in mud, full pain face on,
with
and
a mustache,
this ridiculously long curly mustache on my face.
You could probably use the mud to shape it a little bit too.
I could. It's just so
bad. Matt, to answer your earlier question, his actual goal is to increase the growth capacity of his mustache during this time period.
That's a solid goal. Lance, did you get the birthday gift?
Oh, hold on a second. Yep, hold on. It's right here. Here you go, Lance.
Oh, here we go. Yes.
Thank you for the reminder, Matt. I was waiting for the segment. So
it's a little package that has been wrapped up, and there's a trashy running sticker.
Good. Yes.
On there.
Thank you, Kristen.
That's from my wife.
Thank you.
It's from the whole podcast and my wife.
Yeah.
And look at this. It is fisticuffs. Mustache wax.
Fisticuffs is the name.
It's some fisticuffs.
Yeah, or something.
Because
we're gonna get a picture of that right now.
Jake's getting a picture.
Working on it. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, after this next cycling season, are you going to get into an old style boxing match as well?
I should.
You really should. Yeah.
I need a picture of me wearing my black bibs because it looks like an old timey like outfit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then have kind of the fists out like that.
Right.
Yeah. There's a perfect picture waiting for that.
And hair parted in the middle.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. I'm seeing this so well right now.
See, feel the wax. Feel it. See how hard it is?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You can't here, Jake. Feel
that is
the wax.
hard. Yeah. That feels like rubber almost.
So you can't get it out without like warming it up with
what do you do? Hair dry. I was about to ask if you microwave it.
Yeah, don't put the metal tin in.
Yeah, bad idea, kids.
Now,
kids do not microwave metal.
It's not tickling your face anymore, but if you're sitting in like a draft or you're out on the front of a bike ride and you're going pretty quick, is it blowing back and starting to tickle the sides of the face? Do you feel it moving around in the wind at all?
The wax.
How many watts does it cost you?
It's costing me some watts.
The best question.
And they're completely worth it. The wax is super hard.
Yeah.
So unless it's like 100 degrees out, it's gonna stay in place.
I don't know. Friday we might have to go out there and test it out.
When it gets warm, the wax will. That's the thing. Ooh. It without wax in it, it actually completely covers my whole upper lip. If I brush it straight down, it starts to look ridiculous.
That is awesome.
That is excellent.
God, yes.
Yeah. All right. Here's my question for you, and it's one of many. If you could change one thing about yourself as a cyclist, what would it be? Just one.
Sounds terrible. It's my weight.
Don't say your weight. God, come on.
It's my FTP. I guess if I shouldn't really say weight because it just
watts per kilogram, maybe.
Just maybe my watts per kilogram.
Yeah.
Because we can't change our body types. I mean,
no.
Like when we talk about your athletic history is a power based sport. You wouldn't have operated well as a 140-pound decathlete.
No.
Yeah.
You'd be great in the 400 and in the sprints, and you would be terrible at
all the power
discus, the shot put, the javelin, you'd be terrible at all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I've known you for 4.5, almost 5 years now, and in that time span, I've seen you at about 160 pounds.
Yeah.
And what's the most I've seen you? Like 230 is what you said, I think.
240.
That's an 80-pound swing, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
240.
Dang. Dude, well, I know you sent us that picture where was that roughly around that time period?
Yeah.
When you're cycling on the bridge there?
Yeah. Standing on the bridge, like pushing the maximum stretching capacity of the kit I was wearing.
If somebody would have told you at that time that you were going to go to California at some point on training camp and climb over 10,000 feet with people who weigh 170 pounds, would you have believed him at that moment?
I would not have believed him in that moment. That's for sure.
So that would be the one thing that you would change about yourself is your weight / watts per kilogram. What is it that you do to keep that in check, and what lets it kind of like spiral out of control?
That's a great question. My wife is a fantastic cook.
Yeah.
And it's the snacking that causes problems for me. My wife cooks very healthy. She cooks very good. We've talked way too much about my diet. Anyway,
hey, every endurance sports podcast, it's going to come up quite a bit. Yeah.
But if I choose poor snacks, then it starts to come on.
Who does the bulk of the shopping for the household? Is it Brandy, or do both of you guys do it together, or is it you?
it's pretty equal.
Okay.
I do a lot of it myself. Brandy does a lot of it herself, and then we'll go together.
Sure.
Too.
Yeah.
So, but
I know that when I do the shopping, and generally it's mostly me, but my wife likes to do these little excursions. She's going to kill me for saying this. And she'll go to the grocery store and like she's got a list of things that she gets, and she always comes home with twice as much stuff as she goes to get.
Yeah.
And it's usually a lot of crap that finds its way into the shopping cart. Or if a kid goes with her, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Like, Mom, can we get this? My wife is terrible about saying no. Dad's the mean guy. Dad doesn't let him get anything. Yeah. And for me, it's easy because when I go
Dad comes home
shopping,
with chicken and vegetables.
it doesn't land in the shopping cart. Therefore, it's not in the house. Therefore, I don't eat it. And therefore, I stay on a very good trajectory with respect to like my body composition.
Yeah.
When my wife gets more into the mode of starting to do the shopping or the cooking, things kind of fall out of control. My wife is, skinny and she doesn't have any like issues. And I'm kind of like you. I can put on weight super easy. I mean, I have been, since I've been an adult, been between 175 and 230. Now I've been 230 in two different kinds of 230. I've been like, 6% body fat
Ripped
and
230 and
chubby Pillsbury Doughboy 230. So,
right.
But I'm kind of like you, and that's why I asked the question. I'm curious, like, what is it that kind of is your downfall? And for me, it's kind of the snacking too. It can be the desserts. My wife, when she turns into Betty Crocker, she'll have like a string of like a month or two where she's all of a sudden baking everything, and I'm like, don't eat that, don't eat that, don't eat that. And then you break down just that one time and you eat it, and the next thing you know, you ate way too much of it. And
right.
Crap.
I'm always open to help these situations. And anyway, I mean, so just so you guys know, and Matt will crack up at this too, Cassie and Melissa's name for me at home is Snack Boy. But also I've been called Garbage Can. So that's like an actual recurring nickname. And it literally comes down to there is a section of the counter that is considered free game snacks, which has now just been labeled garbage can area. It's like they put the snacks there, and I know at that point that those are allowed. I don't touch anything. Like I don't go in the fridge looking for snacks. I don't even go into the snack drawer looking for snacks. It is right on the table there. In front of me.
I think we found Evan's new nickname. It's
Garbage
garbage
can.
can.
You guys,
I almost just lost it. I was taking a drink of seltzer water, and he said that and it almost shot everywhere.
You guys are welcome to, if you are like, oh man, these snacks need to get dropped off somewhere, just bring them on over and just put them into. You can ask Cassie, where is Evan's spot, and just put it right there. So there
it was one of the very first days that we're here in the clinic, in the lab, if you will, working, and it's St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
What does my wife do? She gets up and she goes over to Dot Donuts, a local eatery that makes great donuts. It's pretty popular.
They do, yeah.
And she brings back this big old giant box of donuts. I'm like, son of a biscuit eater. I'm like, these cannot stay in the house because I'm going to eat more than I should. My kids are going to eat them. They're going to be bouncing off the walls. So I brought donuts in for Evan, and he was happy to oblige. And they went straight into the garbage can.
They go in the garbage can, and 6 hours with ride later,
mouth.
they're gone. There you go. So.
Garbage can. Love it. Oscar the Grouch over here.
I find that when I'm like actually on a training plan or training for something, I'm much more focused, and I'm much better able to resist that type of temptation.
Focus, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
When I don't have something happening, you get in this circle of this downward spiral of, well, I'm not really training for anything and it doesn't matter. So if I eat this whole box of jelly beans, who cares?
Yeah.
Or if I eat this whole thing of ice cream, who cares?
This is also, I think, for the cycling world, actually, KOMs are great is because you can lie on Zwift about your weight. That 6% grade is still a 6% grade, no matter what time of year.
You know
it
what?
is.
Not for nothing. I actually mentioned this to Lance yesterday. We were talking. I believe we were talking about this.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was Sean. I don't know. But anyway, watching you guys go out there and attack this, in the back of my head, I'm like, son of a, I should be out there going. I just said
beep. Oh, that's going to be great in post when he has to actually edit that out. That's going to.
I have to go mark that at 50-something minutes. Anyhow, I'm thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, I've got the watts to do this. But then I look at the scale, and I'm like,
me and Talk have talked about this. You absolutely do.
Son of a biscuit eater, I'm too damn heavy. But that makes that changes me. That makes me like,
it motivates you.
I know that I can get my FTP pretty darn close to 400.
Yep.
All right. But my watts per kilogram are just not there because you guys are so much lighter. So I'm like, all right, I'm crunching numbers. What happens if I get down to 170? And if I'm like at 185, can I drop that 15 pounds? Or if I'm at 190, because I ate some jelly beans like Lance. Can I get down? I don't know. And a lot of it comes back to like my shoulder. And you're like, what does your shoulder have to do with losing weight? But you would be amazed at like the cortisol stress that you get, the poor sleep that you get because of that, the fact that you cannot do certain kinds of strength training exercises to really engage your core. And if you're doing more strength training and you're building up the proper kinds of lean muscle mass to get your metabolic activity increased, you just have these roadblocks in the way. And I want to go get the surgery so damn bad so that I can go back and train, and maybe spring of 2021 go out there and try and put an effort into it. And I don't know if I can do it. And the other thing is like, am I just too old? I mean, I'm 45 right now.
Yeah.
But then I stop and I look at Chris Handel. Let's talk about the week that Chris Handel's had for just a few seconds here. How many KOMs did that guy take?
Major KOMs.
All.
Too. These are major, like
took dozens.
KOMs held by pros.
We're talking, we're talking about like KOs.
And he's my age. He's 50.
Yeah, in the West Hills, he's out there taking KOMs. He's taking stuff that goes from Portland out to Crown Point and back. And not just taking them by a couple seconds, but like minutes on some of these long segments. And the guy is just freakishly strong on the bike. And he can get so strong so small and so aero and hold watts for so long. I'm like, all right, if Handel's 50, I've still got a few years that I can train that up. So
yes.
I don't. Anyway, my point is the KOM stuff that you guys are doing. That's inspiring for me, and Lance I think is kind of feeding off that a little bit as well.
And going off that is actually my next question for Lance. So, Lance, do you have, as we talked about, our racing and Matt led off with this question is like, what are you training for now? What do you have a couple KOMs that are like long-term goals for you? Not to maybe get the KOM. Do you have something that you want to like put a really good time on? Let's say we do not race in 2020. Like, do you have a long-term couple ones you have down?
There's one I've had my eye on for years. It's Ellsworth Road North.
Yeah.
It's a climb, but it's only
it's a power climb.
It's a power climb because it's only like a 70 or 80 second effort.
I had that for a while.
Yeah.
Stupid Tonkinson took it from me when I was broken on my recliner, recovering from shoulder surgery.
I took a run at it and like missed the KOM by like 2 seconds and thought, okay, I can take another run at this.
Yeah.
And then Tonk went out and beat it by like 12 seconds. I haven't even tried since. I'm like,
that's a big
so
gap
much
on that
faster.
climb. That's a big gap.
Yeah, so
that is a climb where his weight's going to play a factor.
Yeah.
But I don't think that he puts out the same watts as you. Am I correct?
He puts out a lot. He puts out a surprising amount at his top end.
For a 90-second sprint, though, I mean, who?
Yeah, I probably have a little bit more
raw.
In a short effort like that.
It's just a matter of getting down to that chiseled 160 Lance again, that race shape. I think that you can give him a run for his money.
Yeah, probably. So that's probably one I've got.
I like it. Yeah. I think Lake Road's another one for you. That would be something that's well within your wheelhouse because it never gets steep.
That's like a 2.5 minute effort, so that starts to push it for me.
Yeah,
but it's not steep.
No, it stays shallow.
Yeah,
it's like 3 or 4%,
somewhere right around there. Yep, right in Lance's 50-year-old wheelhouse.
All right, Matt. Another question for Lance.
Yes. Let's move into maybe something a little more embarrassing.
Good. We need to go that direction. Too much compliments right now.
Oh, okay. So you might have to think about this one for a minute. And so if so, we can come back to it, circle back to it. I'm doing a video this week where we talk about kind of like a best, worst racing story. The video is going to be specifically for triathlon, but for you, I'll give you, since it's your birthday, give you a little bit of wiggle room and say, cycling, running, triathlon, whatever. So this would be like something funny, embarrassing that happened during a race, something like putting a wetsuit on backwards, or doing
a Wall of China marathon. Just that choice.
Well,
just deciding to do that.
Just deciding to do that race is embarrassing enough.
Well, immediately the Lance no pants story comes to mind.
Yes.
Which is
that's got to be number one. That has to be number one.
Which is completely embarrassing and also hilarious.
Yeah.
If you recall, I was doing a cyclocross race, Portland Trophy Cup down at PIR, and was remounting my bike after a barrier. I'd get off and jump over the barrier, and I was remounting the bike, and I caught my bib shorts on the back of my seat as I was trying to remount the seat.
Yep.
And ripped the front section out of my bib
unbeknownst
shorts.
to you, though.
And
Unbeknownst.
I did not realize that I had ripped them open, and there were still like 3 laps to go, and I still did the other 3 races. Now, granted, the actual package was covered.
Yes.
But you could see the leaves of the forest.
There you go. It's like a poorly placed blur.
Yes.
On like some bad MTV show, basically.
I finished the race. I believe I actually won the race.
Did you win?
It was a 50+ race, and I actually won it.
Yeah.
And I roll up to the guys who I'd been racing with to talk about the race, and one of them looks down at me and goes, "Whoa, dude, cover up!" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I look down, and my junk was hanging out.
Wait. At that point, was it actually? Was it?
I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need to go change." And I laughed hysterically.
Would have been the greatest podium picture, maybe in the history of Washington, Oregon cyclocross, if nobody had told you got up on that podium and they snap a picture.
It was funny. I had a teammate out there who was taking pictures, and he didn't realize it either because he was looking at my face. You don't look at a man's junk when they're racing.
No.
He didn't realize that my bib shorts had ripped open.
I think we posted that picture last year, but we had to put a little Russian flag or something like that.
A little happy face in a certain spot. Funny. So that's probably the more embarrassing.
That's just the true spirit of cyclocross.
Funny, I should have been a lot more embarrassed, but I guess I didn't care.
No, it's cyclocross. Who cares? It's cyclocross. Who that's?
That's a good question, Matt. Good question.
Yeah.
Evan, go.
I want to hear a story. What is a story you remember from your really, really early, like prior to collegiate athletic career that you have not shared on the podcast before? I think we've heard most of your like big time race stories from college days on.
Yeah.
But high school days, whether it's track or anything like that, a story that sticks out to you from that time period, high school.
One that I remember is in track. In high school in track, I did the high jump and the triple jump.
Really?
And the hurdles. Those are the 3 events I did.
Yeah.
The high jump, the triple jump, and the hurdles. So the 110 high hurdles and the 300 intermediate hurdles, the long hurdles.
Yeah.
I was
That's a terrible race.
I was a 6'5" high jumper. I've high jumped.
Seriously?
6'5". Yeah. So yeah, I had some pops in me.
Were you the shortest guy generally you were going against at that level?
I went to state one year, and I was a full 8 inches shorter than every other competitor.
You're not the build of your typical high jumper.
No.
Yeah.
So I was a power jumper, obviously, which meant I had to get big speed and transfer all that anyway.
And contort your body into
so. And 6'5" really isn't that great, but for high school it was decent.
Yeah. Was that state? How close were you to being state champion at that height?
I was I think my state championship years almost did 7 feet.
7 feet,
or
okay.
6'11". So I was like 10th or something like that, or 12th. I wasn't even close.
Yeah.
But my senior year, I was doing the intermediate hurdles, which is a 300-meter hurdle race. I had made the finals this was in districts. This was not at state. Mm-hmm. And I was amped for it. I was amped for the race. And so amped that I was running way faster than normal. And the gun goes off, and I clear the first hurdle, and you've got like 10 strides before you hit the second hurdle. And the hurdles were getting closer and closer to me because I was running so much faster than normal. Right. And sure enough, by hurdle 4, I just drilled it.
Did you go down?
Supermaned. Flipped in the air, landed on my back, got up, finished the race, still took like 4th place at districts.
4th place after absolutely biffing it.
After drilling it and flying. Yeah, that was...
Lance, as a coach now, coaching high school kids, I could see you being one of those kids where you're like, instead of getting them amped up, you got to be like, you got to calm down.
Yes. I was definitely one of those where I had to
Lance,
be
I need you to take a chill
down.
pill over there, man.
Yeah, because I
got to get a lot of kids amped up, and then there's just a couple kids where you're like, try to relax, buddy.
try to chill out a little bit.
Awesome.
The other worst story from my high school sports career, I also played soccer. So
You played soccer too in high
played
school?
varsity soccer for 3 years.
Very cool,
in high school as well. So
that is too. Matt, were you a soccer player too?
I played until like 9th grade or so, something like that. I wasn't that good.
No.
Jake is the 3 of the 4 here came from soccer. I like that.
Baseball.
Yeah, I was gonna say I knew Jake was baseball.
So my junior year, we were playing this team here in the Portland area, and it was near the end of the game. I must have been defending a guy aggressively because with about 5 minutes to go in the game, he came up behind me and punched me right in the jaw, and my head went down, hit the dirt, and knocked me out.
Oh, wow.
And apparently, I jumped up and finished the rest of the game. I remember playing the game and then waking up in the hospital.
Oh God!
But I got a concussion. I really wasn't injured other than I had a concussion.
Yeah.
But the guy punched me from behind. My head hits the dirt. I jump up and I finish the rest of the game running around.
Don't remember any of that.
I don't remember any of it. I don't remember walking to the car. I don't remember my friends taking me to the hospital.
Concussions are a crazy thing when you have amnesia. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So I don't remember.
What happened to the guy?
Well, the next year.
Wait. No, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Nothing. Nobody saw it.
Oh, really?
Because it was away from the ball. So the refs didn't see it, and a couple of my teammates saw it, but nothing happened because
nobody said anything. The guy got no disciplinary action.
Correct. Nothing.
Oh, that's bush.
This is prior to Snapchat and YouTube where they could be filming that.
Well, and I don't know what I did to tick the guy off. I did something to tick him off.
Yeah.
I was defending him aggressively or clipping at his
whatever
feet.
It is, it doesn't warrant what he did, but anyway.
He punched me.
Yeah.
So the next year, when we were all seniors, we're playing this team. It's the last game of the season. And at halftime, the coach tells the team, he says, okay, I want 88 minutes of solid soccer. You guys need to play aggressively. I want you to go after the ball. You need to hit your passes. But, he's coaching us. For the last 2 minutes, I don't care what the heck you do, but you're getting that guy back who got Lance.
Really?
Our coach told us that.
Wow.
Which now I think back and I think
120 seconds is a long time to go after somebody.
So he gave us like a 2-minute go for it. Well, with 5 minutes to go in the game, bench clearing brawl.
Oh God!
Fans coming off the stands, people getting punched, people getting kicked. It was
God!
It was terrible. But then that was it. And nobody got injured. Everybody got punched. But nobody got injured, and then game over, and then.
But you got your retaliation.
The retaliation.
Yeah.
Kids, don't listen to Uncle Lance's story. This is not what you should be doing. I can't believe my coach condoned this.
I was from the era of that. I used to have an old coach who always, oh God, what was his phrasing for it? There was a phrasing he would use that meant, you send a message to this guy.
Yeah.
It was a stiff tackle, I think is what he used to call it. But
This person needs a stiff tackle. So bad.
Yeah,
I should have told that story.
No, that's awesome. That's
all right. Moving on. All right, my turn for a question here.
It's like a baseball thing.
You've been a cyclist for a lot of years. You were a triathlete for a lot of years. You were a runner for a lot of years. You were a very busy businessman, putting in lots of hours all over the place. Your time got spread very thin, and you have a family, and you're a big family man too. So as a cyclist who's putting in gobs and gobs of hours, and even back when you were super busy with all this other stuff, what's a good tip or a couple tips that you could give us for people who have a spouse and some sort of hey, this is kind of something that you should be mindful of making sure that you keep things all good with the spouse, making sure that you are keeping in good favor with the said other person, your partner, your spouse, your husband, your wife, whoever it might be. So what's a good tip that you could give us to keep things good there? That's
a great question. Let me first say the first thing you need to do is marry the right person.
Yeah.
Step one. Gotcha.
Step one.
Okay.
Marry the right
Taking
person.
notes.
I am super fortunate that Brandy is the way she is. She supports all my stupid, crazy endeavors. That's for sure, and I'm really fortunate that. I think, yeah, my life has been very, very busy up until this last 2.5 years, which have been fantastic. After working 60 hours a week for 20 years, these last couple years have just been the cherry on the top for me. But I always tried to make sure I didn't create more work for my wife.
Yeah.
And especially when my kids were younger, I tried to always take the morning shift and the morning things to be done.
Yeah.
And so that, like, I would help get the kids up. I would help make meals. I would try to do those types of things so that if I did my workout later in the evening, that I wouldn't disrupt things too much.
Gotcha.
So I always try to do kind of my part. If I made a mess of my dirty clothes, I washed them myself.
Yeah.
I didn't say, hey, the laundry's ready to be done, Brandy. Get on it because I need them again tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would do, the laundry things myself, or if I was late to a meal or something like that, I would try to feed myself somehow as well. So I'm not sure those are real good tips other than marry the right person.
Well, not for nothing.
Yeah.
She's starting to log a lot of hours herself. And I don't know if she's always been a competitive person or a cyclist or a triathlete. Okay, well, has she always been on the bike, though?
No.
Okay, so she's starting to get it a little bit more now. And she's not racing yet, but we'll get there, Brandy. We'll get there. She's done a couple races, but she hasn't got the full race bug. She hasn't jumped into full race mode yet.
And she's older than me. She's 52.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she's a couple years older than me. She's been a soccer player her entire life.
Yep.
So that's always where she's kind of scratched her competitive itch. She is a very competitive person that has been a source of contention in our marriage because we are competitive with each other. And so I gave up soccer like 15 years ago, partially because I didn't want to get injured for my triathlon and cycling career, and partially because I needed to let Brandy have soccer.
Yeah.
I needed to let her have that thing so that we weren't competing against each other in soccer as well.
Yeah.
And so, she actually went out and did a 38-mile ride all by herself yesterday on a gravel bike.
Yep.
So, there's no soccer right now. And so that's one of the reasons why she's been riding more and more and more, is because that's something that we can do together.
Yeah.
And she actually made the comment to me last week. She said, I tell you what, I think I like cycling more than soccer. And I said, what?
I absolutely enjoyed cycling more than soccer and played a lot of soccer. So
So I think that the fact that you can do it anytime and anywhere.
It's probably a lot less stress on her body, too.
Because
I know that she's had some knee issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
her knees are ruined.
Soccer's like basketball in that sense that, I love to see people try to stick with it as long as you can, but you lose that spring, that ability to accelerate, that ability to jump. That just does not stay around as you age. It can, people can work hard and keep most of it around.
Yeah.
But it's going to deteriorate naturally, and that's where cycling's awesome because, God, as we're seeing with Mr. Lance here and Dr. Heppler and Dr. Handel, you're looking at people who are in their 50s now and crushing it still and getting stronger each year. That's something you wouldn't see you would not see somebody pick up soccer at 50 and be killing it at 55. Yeah,
your body doesn't move like that anymore.
No.
So to summarize, then, if you're going to step your toe into this water of being a competitive endurance athlete, knowing that you're going to have to be investing 8, 10, 15, 20 hours a week, really don't be selfish for starters.
Correct.
And don't create more work, and just know you're going to have to suck it up. I mean, you're going to have to probably like go above and beyond and do more than you want to do, and just know that you got to do it anyway. And that can be hard, because especially when you're trash tired. And I mean, I don't care how perfect your marriage is. I don't care how good of a relationship or how good of an understanding you have. It's still going to be a little bit of a strain at some point in time. And it's happened in my house too. I know that my wife has probably like kind of rolled her eyes or been a little irked at me. And as you just have to remind yourself, get up and get it done. You know, go drink a cup of coffee. God, coffee. What would I do without coffee?
I don't think any of us would be able to strain without coffee, honestly.
And to go to your point, though, because my wife over the last like 5 or 6 years has really started to become more of a competitive athlete. And she, for a long time, wouldn't say that she was. And I think that she's just now starting to kind of find her competitive itch. And she's learning how to structure a training program. She's getting into triathlon. She's getting into cycling. She's starting to understand, like, okay, at least I think so. Like, this is kind of what he was doing and why he was doing it. So, for me, I say that, you know, I people always ask, like, what's your honeycomb secret? I'm like, well, I was trying to hit 10 hours a week. I would love to do more. Would I love to ride 15 to 20? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Does that work when you're trying to work and be a spouse and be a father and
3 kids at home?
3 kids.
No.
Yeah, you just can't do it, in my opinion, because you've said before you can really only have 3 things, right?
Right.
And if you try and do more than that, or you get things out of whack or out of balance, something's going to give. And I think that 10-hour line is somewhere that I can make work for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think you had said that a while ago, Lance. There were a couple almost sayings of yours I was remembering back to. One was the juggling thing. You can only juggle 3 at a time. And then the other one was you're never as busy as you think you are, which I've had to, over this last couple years, I've had to continually remind myself that, because it is easy, I think, to play that game with yourself when you think you're the busiest human being alive, because we all already know our own experience.
Yeah.
So you think you're the busiest human being alive until you really look at your days, then you realize, oh yeah, I can do this then. I can do this then.
I can still make this work.
There's 24 hours is a massive amount of time in the day.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a secondary question, because I did have that on my list. And sorry, Matt, you can go next here in just a second, but you've always said that you could just juggle 3 things at a time. That's a legitimate question that I had here, so it came up. What are the 3 things that you're juggling right now in your life?
I'm juggling training, my relationship with my wife and kids, being a father and a husband, and that's it.
2 things. You took the one ball away. That's awesome.
So what you're saying, you've got time to do more, huh?
wait a second. Let me take that back.
I think he's trying to
you to work.
Here. Yeah.
But like my work life went from 60 hours a week to 4 hours a week.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just that's why I can train 15 hours a week like I did this week, and it really wasn't that much of a hardship. Yeah. So. Yeah.
So you're just giving 150% to those other 2 things.
Yeah.
Huh?
And, you know, and right now there's no church, and that's also for years of mine been a big commitment of mine as well, is volunteering and helping and helping teach other kids, or being involved in leadership roles. And right now there's none of that.
Yeah.
So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Matt, go again, bud.
All right, this is probably going to be my last question, because I have a meeting coming up. But I saved the most embarrassing for last.
Perfect.
Favorite energy drink, the brand, and the flavor.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I actually know the answer to this now. I did not know before.
Okay, yeah. My favorite energy drink is Monster Energy Drink. It is the purple can. It is a calorie-free.
That's quote-unquote calorie-free. Yeah.
I think it has like 5 calories a serving
size,
and I think there's 2 servings in it, so it's 10 calories. So
the flavor is purple.
The flavor is purple.
I'm pretty sure, Matt. Yeah, I think they have 2 flavors, green and purple.
There's like 10 flavors.
You buy it by the case at Costco?
Yeah, I buy it. Costco sells a case of it that is the purple and the white and the orange flavor.
There's the white too. I forgot about the white. Yeah,
and all of them are calorie free. And
do you like hide it when you're in the cart? Like kind of put some stuff over top of it, like
I
beer and
stick it on the bottom and then stick
so
something.
that if someone
over
sees you, they're like, "Oh."
It's like my completely public secret shame.
Yeah.
All the chemicals, none of the calories.
Chemicals, no calories.
Lance, I'm completely with you on this. That there's this magical thing that can make you ride bicycles faster. I'm just amazed that you've never ventured into Red Bull and that Monster became it. Monster to me is the worst tasting of the entire energy drink world.
Not purple. Purple tastes good.
Maybe I haven't tried purple enough. I don't know. Matt, have you tried purple?
I've worn purple before, but I haven't actually drank purple.
You haven't eaten a purple shirt before? It tastes like purple.
Funny. The worst thing about Monster Energy drinks is there's 142 milligrams of caffeine per can.
Oh my god!
So a cup of coffee has about 100 milligrams of caffeine. A can of Coke has like 42 or 50 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah.
These Monster Energy drinks have 142 milligrams of caffeine, which is a lot. Red Bull is probably similar. Most of these energy drinks are probably similar. Yeah. What's funny with me is my body. I don't feel the caffeine. So
his body just rejects.
Well, it's funny. Like there's been several times in my life where I've gone completely cold turkey, no caffeine, no energy drinks, no cola drinks, no nothing. And I don't get headaches. I don't get tired. I don't feel groggy. It doesn't, for whatever reason, my body does not respond to caffeine. People like Jake just made a mention about coffee, how it like gives him a kick. I don't get a kick from it.
Yeah.
People like take gels with caffeine in it on a race because they want that focus and that kick.
Me and Guy Van chug caffeine at the bottom of the large and then leave it there.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Which is also strange. It's also completely dumb that I drink energy drinks.
That was the follow-up question.
With 140 milligrams of caffeine in it, where I don't feel the kick from the caffeine. And I don't know what it is about my body or my, biochemistry system that it just doesn't affect. But I'm one of those people where it just doesn't.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Just
doesn't.
You don't get the high from it. You're not addicted to it. You could stop taking. You don't get the headaches and all that other stuff. Yet you're still drinking that garbage.
I like the taste of it.
Hey, I'm fine with it. Yeah,
it's just like jelly beans.
Yeah.
There's nothing good in jelly beans, but it tastes so good.
Oh yeah.
Addicted to the taste, though.
Yeah, this is like, why does anybody ever eat an Oreo?
Right.
They're delicious. It makes me happy when I eat it. I don't know.
All right, Evan. One last question, Evan. Go.
One last. Will you ever, in any scenario possible, this was the one I was going to say for last because I think I know the answer to this, but I want you to really think about this. Ever let me and Matt convince you to do a triathlon?
No.
He'll do it. He'll do anything. It's Lance.
I was so hoping he was going to at least have a second pause there.
There was no pause. No. My running career is done.
What if just one race, man? Give me a sprint.
I can't run. I have drop foot on the right side.
I know, but we could walk you through it.
I could walk. No, I can't be competitive. I can't enter a race knowing
this is true.
I'm gonna walk the 5K. I can't do that.
What about an aquathon? Can we ever convince you to do an aquathon?
No.
Or not? Or aquabike? Yeah. No.
I hate swimming.
So that narrows it down, Matt. It looks like he's just doing the middle part.
It'd be like a relay or something.
Yes. Would you ever jump in a relay with us?
Yes, I would do the bike portion of the relay, but not on a time trial bike. God dang it.
All right, my last question. All right, Yosemite Sam. Who's your arch nemesis?
Who's my arch nemesis?
Gonna get all cartoonish here with you.
And good fun.
Wait, who's Yosemite Sam's arch nemesis? It's
Bugs
Bunny.
Bugs Bunny.
It's Bugs Bunny.
A buggish looking bunny.
I don't know if I have an arch nemesis.
Not yet. With
Nobody
that
in the
stash,
cycling
it's
world?
coming.
That's true. With the evil stash.
Well, I wouldn't call him arch because I'm like friends with them all.
Okay, but they can still be a nemesis.
That counts,
they can be friendly.
I'm sick of never beating Danny Weichel in anything. I've raced him so many times, he freaking beats me every single time. So maybe.
Have you ever beat him?
In races over 4 hours.
Gravel?
Yes.
Okay.
I've beat him in gravel races where they're early season and he's not very fit.
Is this how like the Oregon State-Oregon rivalry in football is a rivalry, but Oregon State has never really beaten Oregon? Or is that just
something like
so
that?
you want to get him in a race that's, we'll say, inside of an hour?
Yeah, I'd like to get
Portland
him in
short track
race.
or Trophy Cup or
but then
cross
again,
race.
he's like 40 42, 45?
I think he's like 45 or 46. I think he's a touch older than me, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, yeah.
I've only raced against him, I think, in short track, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know, I was still dealing with shoulder issues. And I only got him once, but he was sick that day. So
that's funny.
He's pretty damn strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Cool.
guy. Love that guy, too.
Yeah, good dude.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Right on. Well, happy birthday again, Lance.
Thank you. That was
happy 50th.
Interesting.
All right, let's kick it into one last thing. I'm going to let Matt go because he might have to jet out here. Matt, you got one last thing for us?
Yeah, I already mentioned I'll probably try and do a video of worst triathlon stories this week. The video I did last week was like the Wahoo Element Bolt.
Yep.
Might have made some mistakes in that video, but the video's doing pretty well. People seem to be, enjoying it. So
I think when I watched it,
I liked it. Yeah.
Did you call it the Edge or the Garmin a few times?
Every time I kept saying like the Garmin.
I think Cassie pointed that out too.
Because it's like I'm thinking about bike computer and I'm just like the Garmin. The
Garmin Element 920.
Yeah, I was watching and I'm like, wait, what was he talking about? I had to hit like rewind 15 seconds. I'm like, oh yeah. Oops.
Matt, when you threw the Garmin in the trash, I was by for my. That's
a good video. Yeah, Matt makes good stuff.
Lots of little mistakes, just reiterating that it's the Garmin Element Bolt as opposed to the Wahoo Element Bolt. And I didn't even realize it when I watched it editing it, or like I think one time I did realize that I made a mistake and I was like, no big deal. And then I'm like, everyone's like, you made that mistake like 20 times.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Just blame it on me. Hanging around me. That's something I would do.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like, if you're going to make videos, you're going to make mistakes, and then you deal with the consequences of people just harassing you about it. Part of the game.
Evan, one last thing.
Ride gravel this weekend. I will not be on Zwift, hopefully. That's my goal, is Saturday and Sunday to not touch Zwift. So
where are you going to gravel ride at?
Cool.
Other people are choosing the routes. I am not in charge of route development.
All right.
Nobody should ever trust me for route development on any ride, anywhere, ever.
Yeah, especially if it has to do with technology and planning a route.
Do not trust me.
Where are we, Evan? We are so lost.
I used to look on Google and print out Google instructions to put in my back pocket well into the Garmin era. We're not talking 15 years ago. I'm talking like a year ago. Yeah, this was like
sheet printed out, taped to his top tube. Yeah.
I have done the tape to the top tube. I've also done the right on my forearm before. So yeah,
lovely. Mm-hmm. Lance, one last thing.
One last thing. Yeah, I've got nothing to. I got nothing.
Nothing.
Happy birthday, bro. It's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome birthday. It was awesome.
Been your birthday for almost a week now.
Yep, I know.
All right, my one last thing is you do have one other birthday present coming, but I had to print it out because freaking Costco, they don't let you pick stuff up at their store, and it was supposed to be here on Friday or Saturday, and it still hasn't showed up. I have no idea.
Case of Monster?
Oh, yeah, Case of Monster. No, it's a picture I took of you at a gravel race. It's going to be coming on a nice canvas.
Like a canvas.
Yeah, they're awesome things. So you can hang that up in your pain cave.
Okay.
I dig the leg art though on that.
Oh, I got blood all over my leg.
Yep.
I'm bleeding all over myself.
That was at the is it Barton Park?
Barton Park, yes. I washed out on a gravel turn and ripped my leg open. I think I ended up taking 5th in that
Something like that. You still had a solid race despite the fact that you had a little washout. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be here sometime this week, and when it does, I'll turn that over to you. So.
Thank you so much.
And another one last thing for the show. Again, thank you to all of our Patreons. We mentioned you guys earlier in the show. If anybody is interested in becoming a Patreon themselves, go to dialedpodcast.com. You can find the link there right there on the homepage, which will take you over there. And there's some pretty cool little options, and you guys are helping us do cool things. You'll actually start to see some sponsorship ads that we're going to push out there just to try and push out the show to more people so that they can be introduced to what we're doing here. So we thank you. I still can't believe people. I thought maybe like my mom might sign up to be a patron. We'll get one. So, but yeah, we've got a growing little list, and I really appreciate that. So it's been really fun to see that happen. Another fun one, you guys. Thank you for coming in. We will see you all next week. Have a good one. Bye for now.